Okay, so the last chapter of Life on a Little Known Planet, chapter 13, is called Is Nature Necessary? Well, in this chapter, it discusses mostly about how Evans feels about people moving into technology and suburbs, and we're kind of forgetting, nature and just like today, right now I have my iPhone. I'm sitting here talking to you on a computer. Like my parents, they didn't have all this. They went outside and imagined things and played with bugs and played in the mud and went and explored stuff. I do that a little bit, but not near as much as they did. And it's talking about like on page 281, it's saying like, while there's now much to talk about of an environment of beauty, purity, and diversity, there are cogent reasons why nothing much is done about it. Um, and he's saying like as suburbs encroach upon a given piece of land, the value of that land rises, which is kind of bad because he's saying that people care more about living in the suburbs and being able to go to a grocery store than being able to see bugs or go to a park or see wildlife or go out and see a pond somewhere. I have the luxury of living out in the country, so I'm used to seeing all this stuff, but people live in a neighborhood. They pretty much have like a 4 by 4 square of lawn and they don't even care. They don't even realize what they're missing. They don't realize they're missing little ducks swimming across the pond or missing a butterfly flying by or whatever. He's saying that like while he's saying that we can, enjoy all these technology and stuff, but we shouldn't just forget nature and just move on to the next thing. Also, he's saying that on page 285, realization that productivity is basically a problem in ecology and that must be considered on a global scale. I think I kind of agree with that because, I believe that we should be productive and move into the 21st century, but we shouldn't forget that nature is an important part of this world. And there's so many more animals and so many other beings on this world besides humans. And while we may be the top of the food chain or we may think we're the most important thing, there's so much more on this earth that it's not just our world. We can't just forget it or change it to our benefit. Just think of how many animals or insects or whatever would die or be extinct just because of our selfish reasons. He is like giving us good reasons as to why we should like actually appreciate nature. And before I read this book, I really didn't like appreciate nature as much because like I kind of ignored it and I didn't really care about anything about nature. I'm not really outdoorsy, so the most outdoors I ever went was when I worked at my dad's store. But so he's saying that also he's saying that like as children we're like taught to we like we're taught to appreciate bugs and stuff because we have simple minds and we can't understand like complex things, but whenever we get into upper level like sciences and stuff, it's kind of like we just forget the simple enjoyment of nature and we go into more complex things like chemistry or physics or things like that are complicated when we can just take a walk outside and enjoy so much science and so much nature. But anyway, my interesting fact is about the silverfish, and it's on page. Hang on, it's on page. What page is this on? It's on page 281. He's saying, okay, the silverfish. Its body is covered with silvery scales, and whoever first named it, this is kind of funny, but he's saying that they must have been looking at one through a martini. They're primitive and they are believed to descend from really early insects, and they are harmless. So, I mean, it serves as a reminder. I mean, they live in our house, they chew on paper and stuff. I mean, they don't bother us, so why should we forget nature and pretty much say that nature bothers us whenever nature doesn't try to bother us? I mean, we just need to coexist in the world. Or at least I think that's what the author is trying to get through this chapter, is that we shouldn't just abandon nature. We should try to coexist with it. Anyway, but this is the last of the video post, so I hope you enjoyed. Bye.